Welcome back, everyone, to the Light on Phoenix podcast. This is episode 69.
Yes, sir.
Big Gamer,
Adamar.
and today, this is gonna be the craziest episode because
it's the end of Beyond the Timescape month, and it ended like
perfectly.
Just wild. We got an end of a book or a volume.
Yeah.
And the volumes, they like end at the end of arcs. So I didn't even read a single sentence into the next arc.
Nope.
Like, I don't even know what the chapter name is, and you know I love doing that.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know it either.
So it was just like, it was good. We kept going a little past 700. 710 is the very last chapter of book 8, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
And ended with a bang. And like always, when something really, really good drops, you leave with more questions than answers.
Oh, we have so many questions, because let me tell you, Imperial Sovereign,
yep,
he's a motherfucking schemer.
He's a crazy schemer. Before that, I want to ask you, because in this, we start seeing some references to some other novels here, with some terms. So, what is Ergen's novels off the top of your head?
So it's in this order: Renegade Immortal, Pursuit of Truth,
Yeah.
I Shall Seal the Heavens, A Will Eternal, World Worth Protecting, and then Beyond the Timescape.
I thought Beyond the Timescape was before World Worth Protecting.
Oh, in the timeline, yes.
Okay.
I was just listening in the order he wrote it.
Oh, order he wrote it. Okay. I see. So there's 6. And so we're reading Beyond the Timescape. I read Renegade Immortal, A Will Eternal. We're both reading A Will Worth Protecting right now. So what are the 2 novels we're missing? I Pursuit of Truth
and
I Shall See the Heavens.
Yeah, so I read I Shall See the Heavens and Pursuit of Truth.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't finish Renegade Immortal.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to, because World Worth Protecting and like Beyond the Timescape, and then now I got to read it.
I will say, actually no, I feel like I Shall See the Heavens is kind of similar to Renegade Immortal. A Will Eternal is similar to A World Worth Protecting.
Yes, because they're characters.
Because like I'm talking like characters and how they like go around the world.
Yeah.
Beyond the Timescape, I don't know if it's to Pursuit of Truth, because I didn't read it. So.
No. Well, I said no instinctively, but now that I think about it, I would say yeah.
Really?
Mostly because of his title. Because you remember how they have the 4, how in A Will Eternal... did they explain it in A Will Eternal? Because you know how there's God...
The ghost, the God, the devil...
And then is it immortal?
Something like that. There's ghost. I know there's ghost, devil, demon. Oh, there's 3.
Oh, it's demon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's immortal.
Probably immortal. 4 of them.
Yeah, because God is Wangland.
Okay.
The devil is I forget that. It's Su-Min.
Oh, is that from A Pursuit of Truth?
Yeah.
Okay,
Su
that's why I don't know him.
So he's devil, because let me tell you, that story is a sad ending.
Okay.
It was tough.
Okay. It's not a Will Worth, a Will Eternal type of ending?
No.
Everybody dies.
That's why he gets the devil title.
Okay. Alright.
Demon is Meng Hao.
I can see that. I Shall See the Heavens.
And that's all I know.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I guess between the 2 of us, we have almost read all of their done.
Yeah. Because we just got to finish World Worth Protecting and Beyond the Timescape.
Yeah. So after this, I need to finish I Shall See the Heavens. I don't want to finish that. Well, I'm going to finish A World Worth Protecting, and then I'll have A World Worth Protecting, A Will Eternal, Renegade Immortal, and I'm in the middle of Beyond the Timescape. So what am I missing? A Pursuit of Truth. What's it called? Is it Pursuit of Truth?
Yeah.
Pursuit of Truth and I Shall See the Heavens. I'll probably go and read Pursuit of the Heavens.
Pursuit of Truth.
Pursuit of Truth before I finish I Shall See the Heavens. I Just Till the Heavens will be like, I'm done with everything. I'll come back. How about you?
I'm gonna go read Renegade Immortal.
After you finish The World Worth Protecting?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, The World Worth Protecting is fire.
Yeah.
Alright? I've been on it. This last week, I barely read Beyond the Timescape because I was so stuck on it. Mistake, by the way, because Beyond the Timescape was crazy. But World Worth Protecting, I probably read around, like, I want to say, like, 250 chapters this week.
Yeah. That's crazy. You
Yeah.
were really addicted.
Yeah, I was really reading, like, I remember my girlfriend sometimes watches the podcast. I hope she doesn't watch this one. Sometimes I fake sleep on her so that she doesn't know. I'm just reading at night. I don't want her to keep texting me.
Oh,
yeah, like, stop responding, but I'm still reading for another 2 hours. Bro, and then, like, work and all that, so yeah. I was reading a lot.
You're crazy. I'm crazy.
At all
But
times.
I understand, because obviously I'm at chapter 1,000. So
I can't ever catch up.
I read it a little bit before you. I was literally telling you, I was like, you gotta get on this.
You did tell me I think when I started though, you were only at like maybe chapter 200.
No, I think I was way ahead of that.
Really?
I might have been like at least 350 or 400.
Yeah. This arc that we're in right now, like the Mars arc, it's like over 200 chapters long.
No, it's long.
But I love it. Like, it's so weird. Alright, never mind. Never mind. This is not a World Worth Protecting.
Yeah, we're gonna take forever watching it.
Yeah. But what are we doing next week before we get into the other Timescape's craziness?
Oh, yeah, we haven't really thought about it.
We can look right now.
Cause what do we even got?
I think Damn Reincarnation is ready. We can do a book of Splitting the Heavens.
Oh, no, I think that's what we should do.
Splitting the
So I
Heavens.
feel like we can't keep putting it off.
Alright, so guys, we will be talking about book 8 of Splitting the Heavens, and it's called Sea of Stars.
Yes, it was a goated volume.
Yes.
Or book.
It's very, very good. Actually, because the World of Protecting is so good, I finally have stopped reading Splitting the Heavens.
Yeah.
I have 16 chapters. That means I haven't read it in 8 days.
Yeah, you're funny, bro. 'Cause you kept trying to stop, but you couldn't.
I couldn't stop. I'll talk about that next week. Alright, Beyond the Timescape, 660 to 710, a solid 50-something chapters because there was a couple part 2s in there. It was crazy. Alright, it was crazy. We got a bunch of ups, we got a bunch of downs. Our boy Zoo King went from Nasa Soul to Spirit Trove. Alright, boom. He dropped that. We met gods. We met high gods. We met tens of gods. We met smoldering gods like they're hot cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Send them out. But it started at the beginning when Zukin was asked by the captain to be like, yo, captain. Our captain's like, Zukin, can you please go get me my kidney? And Zukin's like, alright, I'll try. He goes over, and we find out that that god that he met, that fox, she wanted him to meet her, and she's actually a high god.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. High god, Starfire.
Yep, she for. So her and Moonfire, Moonflame.
I think it's Moonfire.
Okay, they're two gods that belong to the Fire Moon Dark Heaven race.
Yes, and the third one is the sun that is sleeping.
Oh yes, the sun. Okay.
Yeah. So we have the sun,
Moon and stars.
Yeah. You know what was funny though about her name? Her name is Starfire, and it made me think: is that like a really popular like name to give to a sexy like woman?
Oh.
Because like I just thought like Teen Titans, like Starfire is supposed to be like sexy lady. Obviously here they show her as a fox, which is like always shown as like seductive. And I'm like, is Starfire like always supposed to be like that sort of thing?
Mm.
That's the only two things I can think of off the top of my head, but I feel like Starfire is like always seemed like that.
Honestly, Fire Moon Dark Heaven race, why do their gods have like the coolest fucking powers?
Yeah, for real.
Sun, Moon, and Star? Like what?
Yep.
No wonder they're stomping on the Reverend Ancient, bro.
Yeah. They really are. So we got the help from that. We got the kidney bag, and she didn't even want nothing.
Yeah, she
just wanted to talk to her sister.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So she used Zoo King as a way to locate Moonfire because apparently like she's been looking for her, and now she also wanted to bite out of the Crimson Moon Goddess, and in exchange she gave the kidney back.
So they agreed, and they both were like, "All right, we'll come help you out when the time is near." And that was crazy. And then they come back. Then we finally got the Moonlight Congregation versus the Cathedral, and basically the heir apparent at the time and his sisters and brother head out to get Ninth Sib.
Yep.
And during that time, the Cathedral pulls up with the Pontiff, who we find out is a smoldering guard.
Yeah, they pulled up because they apparently had intelligence that they had left. So someone betrayed them. Well, actually, we find out because one of the biggest things like that happened was there was betrayal. The first Archbishop and the fourth or third? Fifth. Cinco.
First and fifth not Archbishop, Vice Bishop.
Vice Bishop, you're right. They betrayed the congregation, and they basically forced everyone outside so no one could enter in.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, damn, that's some crazy authority.
I didn't even think they had that type of authority to do that. I think it included the other vice bishops.
Yeah, it did.
They just locked everybody out.
Like, I was just like, damn, what kind of like backdoor access do they got?
Yeah, for real.
How did they achieve this?
I couldn't believe that. And then so with the Pontiff, and they actually brought out Crimson Mother's mortal husk. They were able to penetrate the desert, and they used the mortal husk to like eat the desert, basically all the protection. And while this was going on, it was kind of race against time. The mortal husk was coming in to devour everybody there from the Moonlight Congregation. There's like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yep.
And while they was doing that, Zoo King and the captain were trying to complete the Archbishop exam, which really is just like taking the seal off of the book.
Yeah, so they're trying to destroy the seal of Crimson Moon Goddess. And they eventually do so once Captain gets his kidney back.
Yep.
And after the seal's broken, it's the whisper of divine sense is there.
Of what?
The Crimson Moon Goddess.
Yeah, whisper of divine sense.
Yep, so she's there. She's obviously
But she can't really do anything. Like, she doesn't talk or anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Wisp, so.
But sometimes I feel like Wisp will do stuff, you know? But this Wisp was like kind of like a very, like a
I think it's,
Wisp,
Well, I think it's also because it's like, it's in the Moon Rebel congregation, so she can't do that much.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
So she leaves it there, and then they have to fight against it, and they're kind of getting clapped.
Yeah, they are.
Just by her aura.
Aura plus 1,000.
Yeah. Her aura was too strong. Yeah. So, but the captain, he slowly gets. Him and Zoo King use their powers. Like he uses his sundial, and Captain just turns into like, what was it, bees or worms? Like worms, and just starts trying to eat her.
Yeah, they finally succeed,
and then she curses them.
But then
it was so funny after this.
It was because didn't they just die on repeat or something?
Yeah, well, no. So what happened was they got cursed, and Zoo King was like, the captain told him. He told Zoo King, he was just like, bro, use your amnesia technique.
Yeah.
If we forget, I'll cut the karma.
Yeah.
So they do it, and afterwards they're like, what just happened?
We just forgot something. Captain's like, I really need to remember. Oh damn! I remember. Do it again. And they did it like twice.
Yeah. And Zoo King and Captain was just like, I might try to remember. Zoo King was like, nope, because I think I used the amnesia to sever the karma or something.
Yeah, so it's better we forget.
Yeah, they're like, whatever it was, just leave it be.
Yeah, just leave it be. And so they got in, they escaped the curse power through that, which is honestly kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was OP.
Because a curse of a god could probably kill like 87 generations of a family.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy. They come out, And instantly, like we said, they unsealed all the guys in there, and the guys in there were kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. There was actually a prior archbishop from Epoch.
Different epoch. I say epoch.
Epoch? I don't even know how I say it in my head. Epoch?
I think poch makes. I think epoch in English.
Alright, epoch. When I looked it up, it's just several millions of years.
Yeah.
It's not even like exactly a million years, which actually pisses me off. Because like I know it doesn't matter between 1 million and 7 million, but the fact that I don't know the exact number pisses me off. Because they were like, we're in different epochs, and it's like, tell me which one.
Like this is the 21st. That's 34. Yeah. Like what's going on?
But it's still crazy that in like several millions of years, let's say like 30 million years, there's only been 2 archbishops. Or 3, if you count the captain of the king as different.
Yeah.
And so then she pops out.
No. They said that there was others.
Oh, that's true. There have been others, but she's the only one
left.
That she left the corner herself because she knew she was gonna die.
Yeah, she was the one to survive.
Yeah, and she was a smoldering god back in her day.
Yep.
And we got a bunch of other guys, water turning guys, and then we got a random captain in there who's at Nass and Soul, and they're like, there's a Nass and Soul, and that was funny. And then they also get a big increase in their cultivation. Zoo King goes straight through his 5th tribulation.
Yes, it was the craziest tribulation, actually. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So they used like the mortal husk, like it takes on the tribulation. So everyone was just like, "You're the mortal husk is using the tribulation." And then I was like, "Oh, that is crazy." And then it got even crazier because it was what was it?
5 deaths, 6 something.
Yeah, but it was
tribulation.
Yeah, but that was a result of what was it, God Monument?
God Steel.
God Steel. So he had to write his name on the God Steel, and so he had to go through the 5 what?
Yeah, it's like the 5 something. You know, I'm gonna try to look it up.
5 death tribulation. Regardless of what it was a huge tribulation. It wasn't like obviously the real one, because he said like this is for gods. We obviously are not a god. Yeah. But like writing your name on the steel will definitely help you prepare for the future, and it'll give you a huge increase. I forget what he did with it. Did he take it?
The God Steel? Oh, so this was huge. So basically, he writes his name on it. That was like the big tribulation, and the captain actually helps him because I think Zoo King was gonna fail.
Yeah.
And the captain so the tribulation, it kills you with the 5 elements. So those are the 5 deaths.
Oh yeah, you burn, you drown, you get buried, and
destroyed by like lightning and wind, I think. Something like that. So. We got most of them. And basically, he goes through all that. And each time he's writing a name, when he dies, he has to still remember what he's doing to continue writing his name. But like when he dies, it's not like one death. He's like reincarnating and dying like a bunch of times in the same death.
Because that's the whole point of tribulation. Is like keep himself
sane.
Or steady.
Steady, and so he keeps dying. Finally, after the 5th tribulation, he had like 1 stroke left, and like also in this, Zoo King's name in Chinese, in simple Chinese, I believe is what it's called. And so from what's said in the footnotes is that like there's like simple Mandarin, or there's Mandarin, right? And that was like, that's just how they always used it. And then like, I guess in the last like 75 years, they've created something called like simple Mandarin or simple Chinese, I forget which one. And it's just a simplified way of writing the Chinese language. And they made it because people are like, it's easier to learn it. Because I guess the other type of Mandarin is like really, really difficult. But yeah, in this simple Chinese, I think if I'm saying it right, there's 19 strokes in Zoo King's name, so it's not like syllables. It's 19 strokes, and there's like a little image out of it in the book if you read it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in the footnotes. You can see like the strokes of his name.
I might have skipped it. Oh, I did because I don't remember.
Yeah, so he wrote his name on the God Steel, and basically the captain was like, put the God Steel in the mortal husk, so you can take control of the mortal husk. And Zoo King's like, I'm good. I'm gonna send this into the Red Moon and take control of the Red Moon.
Oh yeah, that's what he did.
But so he kept the steel on him, and right there, the 4th child, the 4th brother of
The Imperial Sovereign.
Or the fourth son of the Imperial Sovereign transported everybody from the Red Moon Cathedral because they were about to get clapped. Because after all the people from the ice sculptures came out, it was over. It was over. And then we got everybody from the Memorial Congregation found out who the archbishops were, and they were like, "You guys ain't worthy. You guys, yeah, because they're spiritual. Zukin just became spiritual right here. So also he went through his fifth tribulation, went through the godly tribulation, and then he skipped Dalbegetting because he already has a spiritual. And then
he has a heavenly Tao.
He has a heavenly Tao that instantly allows him to become spiritual. You're right. And we also kind of get a tidbit of the spiritual, which just kind of encapsulates everything of his gold cores and master souls.
So it's like, I think it's more like what's the
quality over quantity type of thing. Like how deep you go into your magics, maybe.
Well, I think it's like a type. So like, cause they're mentioning like godliness.
Yeah, a godly trove, a god trove.
So there must be like other types of troves.
Yeah.
So like, because he has the purple moon, the poison eyes.
The purple moon. Violet.
Violet. Sorry, I said purple.
What color are we doing now?
The violet moon.
Yeah.
The poison eyes.
Yeah.
Or the poison pill.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And then what's the other thing? Oh, the blue dragon.
The blue dragon, the ghost emperor, but he's not really a god. He's a smoldering god.
Well, he wasn't in it, was he?
I thought, yeah, he is. He's the mountains. So it's like this is D132.
Yeah, that was the other one.
D132 is the life. The ghost emperor is the mountains. The daylight is just the sun. I think the timescape was the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then and
so
then the ones you were saying, I forget the geese or the poison. What was the poison?
I forget what it was.
Yeah, they describe it. Basically, his spiritual or his god trove is like just a bunch. It's like a lot of his core, NASA soul / core formation stuff in one.
So now, I think I guess it's gonna depend on what else he fills his other spirituals with. So it seems like everything is a culmination. Like, all right, this is all your spirit. Everything is going in this one.
Yeah.
But now you have to fill it up with other stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't know what that other stuff is.
I think it might be a way, like, either it could be, like, techniques. Actually, I don't even think it's technique. I think it's going to be, like, a type. It's going to be a culmination of his NASA souls in different ways. I think is what it will be.
I think it's going to have to do with some kind of laws he learns.
You think just there's going to be completely different now? So you think everything he learned throughout all of his journey is, like, one spiritual, and now he's going to create other ones based on, like, just other things he learns?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see that.
What?
Nah, I just don't
they just combine everything into one.
I know, but I feel like they're gonna try to make like different iterations of it or something. Cause like I can't, like, everything he's done to get this one spiritual. I don't know if he can do all that shit again for 4 of the spirituals and they'll look as impressive.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's gonna work like that.
What do you mean?
Because now he needs because it's 5 spirituals, right?
Yep.
So he needs 4 other heavenly Taos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on like what those laws are, and I don't think it's like you build it up with like the way he built up the first one.
Yeah, he definitely is not doing that.
I think it's just like, all right, I gotta learn this law, and it's probably like corresponds to like some kind of like technique.
Nah, bro.
I don't know.
We'll see next time we come to like Beyond Timescape. But anyway,
Spiritual was so confusing.
It is. We haven't got an explanation on it. Honestly, Word Attorney sounds so much easier. Like how many, like, what is it? How many laws you control?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then like the more laws, and it's just straight numbers. 1,000 is the first one. How many? 10,000.
100,000.
I think 10,000 is the next one. 100,000 is the last one, and then I think it actually goes 1, 100. Actually, I don't remember either. But there are multiples of 10.
Yeah, they'll tell us.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
Because we got way caught there. They thought that everyone looked at Zoo King and Captain as super too weak because obviously compared to the previous Archbishop, she was a smoldering god.
Yeah.
And so they were just like, so the third Archbishop was just like, you know what? Thanks for trying, but we're just gonna go die in the corner.
Exactly. Oh my god, I didn't think you were gonna say it like that.
That's what he basically said.
He did say that. Can you send us to the northern plains so we can die in peace? Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was funny, bro. Keep going.
And then, what? That's crazy.
Alright, keep going. I control myself.
That was funny.
For real.
So after that, everyone was just kind of just like, once he said that, everyone was looking at this like, damn, maybe we should leave.
Yeah.
Because they kind of are weak.
Yeah.
And then that's when Zoo King and Captain were like, someone said like, oh yeah, the third bishop was like, you guys aren't qualified. And so Zoo King and Captain was like,
You don't meet the standard. They were big words.
Yeah, they were just like, they were sort of revealing background. So Zoo King was just like, I actually don't remember what the first thing he said.
I think the first thing he said was...
Did he reveal he was Pillmaster 9 right off the bat?
No, that was the very last one he revealed. But
right.
But right before, I kind of remember them in descending order. Because the last one was, he's Pillmaster Pill 9. Because he literally created 9 pills. And he can actually reach 70% now.
Yeah.
After he is spiritual. And so then, right before that, he told everybody he can control the red moon. And then right before that,
it was the heir apparent.
Oh yeah, he released the heir apparents. And I think that was everything he said that he did. And then the captain was like, all of my like body parts have been split up.
Captain was
that was like very impressive. All my body parts have been sealed by the cathedral. Nice job, bro. Like,
that's the captain was looking at. He was like, "Am I called?" I was like, "Yes, I'm called." Right?
Like you're riding like Zoo King's coattails, bro. I feel like that's been like the theme of this arc, like the major Moonrise region arc.
He's just trying to prove he's
the eldest brother.
Like,
that is like, sit down, bro. Like I'm over here like vanquishing the curse and like awakening smoldering gods, and you're like, my body parts have been sealed up for millions of years. Like, yeah.
The captain was just funny. That's why I don't remember what he said. Cause I just remember laughing. She's like, "This is."
I know it was just me. I was like, bro, did he just like not say anything?
This was just funny.
Yeah.
Nonsense, bro.
Yeah.
That stuff about the body parts was killing me. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So we get the everybody accepts him. It was awesome. Also, a little tidbit in here that happened right before that big battle. Lei Linger reaches core formation.
Oh.
She was foundation establishment, and ancient spirits trained differently. And so on this point, when Zoo King meets the fox, which is High God Starfire, she gives a pill that helps, a bone pill that helps ancient spirits cultivate. And then Zoo King gave it to Lei Linger, and she like went through foundation establishment, and she got to gold core. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then after this is when they just go straight to the...
Well, first, before they go anywhere, the heir apparent and all his guys show up with 9 Sith.
No, yeah, nice.
And then they go over. They literally just teleport instantly. They're like, we have to go right now. And it was like, right before they left, I think, the captain was like, this is what we have to do. 4 steps. 1, destroy the Red Cathedral. 2, awaken the Imperial Sovereign. 3, go to the moon, to the Red Moon. 4, eat Crimson Godmother. I was like, God damn. And then right after he was like, Now, first step, go to the Red Moon Cathedral, and like instantly, vroom, they teleport there.
Yes, because the
Moonrise Congregation.
It was a spirit artifact.
It's a domain treasure.
Oh, domain treasure. That's right. And I was like,
OP.
What?
It is kind of OP.
Yep. So it's a domain treasure. They use it. They go to the cathedral. They see everyone lined up. And they find out that the Pyrrhus Sovereign's fourth son's trying to become a god. So they pull up the smoldering gods. They go into. Was it in the husk or was it in the cathedral?
It was in the husk, which was in the cathedral.
Yeah. So they go in. They start fighting fourth Sib, and then everyone else is fighting the cathedral guys. They're pretty outnumbered.
An important part here too is with the domain treasure of the Moonrise Congregation. It's like a god, like in other books, it's like a god's like universe, I guess you could say, in which like if you follow this domain or the person who uses the domain and you die, you get resurrected.
Yeah.
That's kind of super OP. Like people cannot die infinitely, but it like uses up like their lifespan every time they die. Oh, it's like Perfect.
Oh yeah, like in a Damn Reincarnation.
Damn Reincarnation, Agaroth. And the holy power. It was kind of like that. So I thought that was super OP. Like just infinite, like not infinite.
Also for cultivators, it's really OP because like you have a lot of lifespan.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was just crazy, and so that was the only reason they were able to hold out.
Yeah, and then they had a huge turnaround when they summoned a bunch of ancient like Red Moon beasts or something, and Zoo King used his authority to control them, and so they started attacking the cathedral guys. And then the pontiff, apparently he had the captain's eyes.
Yeah.
And so the captain like baited him into attacking.
Yeah, attacking Zoo King.
Yeah, and then he countered it.
What counter spelled? We're in our Magic the Gathering phase right now. Negate.
And then what did he do?
It was crazy, bro. He countered him, and right there, the captain summoned all of his body parts.
Oh, that's what it was.
He got all 4 limbs, his torso, his 5 organs, and 6 viscera. I forget what they call them.
Yeah.
And then, so he got everything to his body, but the head is just a plain head. It doesn't have any eyes, ears, mouth, and nothing. And so he takes his body, he puts it all together, and then he basically sends it into the pontiff. And he was like, "You thought you were going to take my eyes? I'm going to assimilate you."
Yeah.
And so the captain basically completely took over the pontiff's body, who was a smoldering god. Even though he was a fake smoldering god, he was more like a void returning expert who got like pumped up to smoldering god
Yeah,
with
like
some fake stuff.
With some faith.
Yeah, faith, and like in the captain's eyes too, because it seems like the captain was a high level smoldering god here. And then that was pretty crazy. And the Red Moon Cathedral was like kind of getting clapped after that. And that's when the 4th son failed his godly ascension. Also, I want to add here, they're getting really confusing with the cultivation levels because they got to clarify. Because it goes Void Returning, or I guess we'll start with Zoo King is Spirit Trove, Void Returning, Smoldering God. We don't know how many worlds you can get in Smoldering God, but we know you can at least get 2. And then you go, so what? And it seems like we know that the 4th son was a smoldering god, and then they say he's trying to reach the god level. So, and to reach the god level, you have to ignite your god fire, right? But you can also ignite your god fire, it seems like, before you're a smoldering god. So I kind of need them to explain that. Did that confuse you?
Wait, where did it say that?
So they said that, remember when the old archbishop was there? She said that back in my day, the godchild, which is 4th son, was a smoldering god.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't as fearsome as he is today. And today it's the same guy, he never died.
Yeah.
He's trying to reach a breakthrough in his cultivation to become a god. So you see what I'm saying? It kind of it kind of says that like how the smoldering god is just God. And like I understand that because smoldering god, you're trying to probably become a god. But but the way I thought it'd be separate from like godly cultivation, because godly cultivation is turning on your god fire, and that's what he was doing. So I feel like they kind of like, that was kind of weird. Because then we also find stuff for the Imperial Sovereign later.
Yeah, because Imperial Sovereigns, so it's like that's the Smoldering God, and then there's 2 paths after that.
Ah, okay. But oh, you go.
Well, because the captain explained is that like cultivators and like god cultivators, like he said, like after Smoldering, I don't know if he said it directly after, but we know like Imperial Sovereign is actually a level.
Yeah.
And he said like there's Smoldering God, and then Imperial Sovereign is like that level is like equivalent to like whatever the god level is.
Yeah.
So, but we don't know the different levels for godhood yet.
Yep.
Well, we know like high god.
And regular god.
And we know, yeah. So we know like Imperial Sovereign up to high god for the gods, but we don't know what's after high god.
Yeah.
And so the captain explained the whole cultivation stuff. They finally tell us about immortals and paragons.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Maybe. Some cultivation worlds they call it paragons.
Yeah. Well, and
I hope they do it here.
Yeah, paragons.
I love Paragon.
Yeah. But yeah, and we know it exists because we read the other novels.
Yep.
But they don't know how to get there. Not in this novel. And they've told us a lot of stuff of how they fight. But we'll get there to how they fight. But basically, yeah.
So that was confusing me because they were saying that the Fourth Son was trying to ignite his Godfire, and that's how he was breaking through his cultivation. So it was like, and like you said right now, it seems like we don't know if exactly after Smoldering God comes Imperial Sovereign level. Maybe there's a step in between. I think it's the next one is Imperial Sovereign. So that's why I was confused why they like wrote it like that, because I don't think like that's like a clear path. I think there's like obviously 2 paths. So I'm not sure.
I think it's just like a it's probably like related to some kind of technique because he said he was using they said his like foundational technique to becoming a god was like a solid one.
Also, yes. Also, we find out something big here. Well, actually, no. We should go into the fight first.
Well, yeah. So basically, to become a god, what he wanted to do was he had 12. He had not 12.
He has 13 siblings, so 14 of them in total.
Yep. So he used his 13 siblings. He wanted to devour their cultivation at each cultivation level, and use all that as foundation to ignite his godfire and become a god.
So basically, like when you go from key condensation, I think was the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah, to like foundation establishment, like he would take the part of history where, let's say, the Heir Apparent, for example, broke through that cultivation level, and him at the beginning of foundation establishment, there was 14 different people who were sent into the past, or not 14, 9 different people who were sent into the past to fight somebody at that specific time period that person broke through.
Yeah, because they had stopped 5 of them originally.
Yes.
And then they sent 9 people in to stop him from absorbing the other 9.
And the 5 were obviously the Heir Apparent and his siblings.
Yeah, and so then Zuking fights the Fourth Son at
Spirit Trove.
So
you fight them at the level that you're at.
Yeah.
So Captain fought Nascent Soul, Zuking fought Spirit Trove. We got the old Archbishop fought Smoldering God.
Yeah.
And then we got another one of the old ice sculptures. He fought Void Returning.
Yeah. So he had a good fight with the Fourth Son.
That was epic, bro. He messed that man up.
Messed him up.
He was literally. It was so crazy because everything the Fourth Son did, Zuking did it better.
Yeah, he copied him with the Daybreak Light.
But even before that, I think he started with Poison. And Zuking literally just looked at him.
Yeah.
With the gaze. I was sick. And he was like, bro.
It was literally like everything I can do, he can do. Yeah. I was like, damn. Yeah. That's tough.
That is tough. And then he tried the Imperial class technique.
Yeah. And
then Zuking was like, I got a technique too. And it's way more in the essence. Like, I've gotten deeper into the essence than you. And then, the
7 Underworld Curse, he copied that and used it back. I was like, damn.
So it was like basically created 7 lamps and you turn them on. First of all, this one was OP. it doesn't look like it has a counter. Like, I feel like it's one of those moves that they showed just to make Zuking look crazy. Because it'll never show up again. Like, can you imagine this technique showing up anywhere else?
Yeah.
I can't imagine somebody else.
This is like a killing. Well, because it can be countered because you can counter it
by death.
Yeah, he uses sundials.
So basically, that's why I'm saying it's too OP. Because literally, Zuking is just standing there, and the fourth son makes 7 lamps, and he doesn't have to touch Zuking for this. He just makes 7 lamps, and now there's Zuking's life force, and when all 7 of them are destroyed, Zuking dies. Like, he didn't have to touch him. He didn't have to absorb his blood. He didn't have to, like, get something of his body. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just like...
It's a chant. Spot him up.
That's ridiculous,
yeah,
bro.
No.
And the only reason Zuking is alive is because he uses sundials to turn back time right after he died to when he was still alive.
Well, that's why I think, like, it'll come up, because there's going to be some people who have extra lives, so he's going to be like, you know what, I used all the trump cards, now you can't escape this, and then you die.
Well, I can see Zuking using it.
Yeah.
Because he copied it.
Oh, someone else?
Someone else using it. Like, I'm just like, this is ridiculous, bro. This move is so OP.
Zuking's arsenal is actually nuts now.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And then even what was crazy when the fourth son tried to use a god decapitation altar, and Zuking's like, bro, I know this better than you.
Yeah, I didn't copy this. I learned it.
Yeah. So
I was like, damn.
Fourth son got right.
I'm just stronger. That's the name of the chapter.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
So the Imperial, the fourth son fails his godly ascension, and he doesn't ignite his god spark or his god fire. And in this, basically, we find out that he actually dropped a crazy line, and it made me really think, because he was like, we find out here that fourth son was born when the Imperial Sovereign was still a god. Because remember, we find out he becomes a god, and then he gets rid of his godhood. And so he unignites his god fire. And so he was born when the Imperial Sovereign was a god. And then he knew him throughout the time of him being a god and when he stopped being a god. And he says here, he was like, what's worse, being the only sober person in a group full of drunk people, or being the only drunk person in a group full of sober people? And it's like, that's crazy, because you don't know which one. Because like all the other children, like the Imperial Sovereign wasn't a god. He was the only one. So it's like, is he radical, or is everybody else radical and he's normal? You know what I'm saying? And like he just says that as he dies.
The problem was he was just a pawn.
Yeah, he was just a pawn.
Unfortunately, we'll tell you later.
Well, it seemed like
no, he was a pawn.
He was a pawn of the Great Machine, but in his mind, and Crimson Mother, who he was working with, he thought he was an alliance.
Yeah, that's true.
And not even Crimson Mother knew that.
Nope.
But,
yeah, he also said another weird thing.
Oh, about Zuking?
Yeah, because he was just like, went up to Zuking and was like, everything changed when you got here. And he was like, it's my past, your future. I was just like, damn. What does that even mean?
What does that even mean? And then, we might have a theory now that we read the last chapter that we read. I feel like I just came up with a theory in my head. But we have to finish before
okay. So, after this is when the big juice happens. Because now it's time to awaken the Imperial Sovereign, Zawa. So they go through a whole bunch of methods. Captain basically tells the heir apparent and the siblings that he can guarantee his resurrection. So they use their blood. We found out Ning Yan is he is part of the Imperial lineage. He's the
3515, 3615.
I thought it was 3816.
Somewhere around there.
Descendant of the human.
Of ancient Emperor Darsharandri.
Yeah.
And he is of the current succession. So his dad is the human emperor.
Yeah.
And his brother is like 7th son that we saw. The Imperial 7th son. Yeah. And his name is not Ning Yan or Ning Yan or
Ning Yan. It's Gu Ye Ning Yan.
Yeah, Gu Ye Ning Yan.
So
he bows, and I guess like the bowing of the.
It's like using like the karmic luck.
Yeah.
It's like try to like stimulate like the statue, and so they use their blood, his karmic luck. They use the blood of Wu Jianwu's pets because apparently they belong to another imperial sovereign bloodline that was related to him.
It's crazy.
Or close to him.
Yeah, I was like, what was that, bro? Like now it got me looking at Wu Jianwu kind of differently.
Yep.
They're like, I think he called them the children of the heavenly Tao. And I'm like, what does that make you, bro? I was like, what is he trying to say here?
Yeah, and then that's when the statue stirs, and so as he's waking up, that's when Crimson Moon, like the red moon, descends. But obviously, Li Zihua's aura plus 10,000.
Facts.
He is able to repel it, and this is described as a giant who can like hold up the heavens.
If you guys are into Greek just like Greek mythology, my first thought of it was, so the moon is obviously a big ass rock. That's what I think, or it's a big ass rock moving. And how do you say her name? Li Ziqua. He doesn't awake, but his arms come up and grab the moon, and I thought of Atlas, like with the world on his back, like the Titan.
Oh yeah.
But instead of like holding the world, he was like grasping the moon. And I was like, that was sick.
Yeah.
But he still didn't awake. But with his arms, like that whole crew that we've been talking about, it makes their way up to the moon. But before we get there, I want to add a quick addition to the squad. While this whole thing is happening of awakening, how do you say that again? Li Ziqua. While this is all happening, it takes 3 days. So in these 3 days, Zhu King actually goes to Ancient Emperor Spirit or Dark Spirit, or Ancient
Spirit.
Emperor Ancient Spirit is
Yeah.
his name. So Emperor Ancient Spirit, we all know he can use that teleportation to go talk to him, and he tells him, he's like, I got a big feast for you. We're gonna go eat Crimson Mother. That's her name, right?
Crimson Moon Goddess.
Crimson Moon Goddess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go eat her right now. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I got a whole squad with me. And he's like, yeah. So we get another ancient emperor that comes with us, and so that's a pretty crazy lineup. We have 5 smoldering gods, with 9 Sib being stronger than the other ones. We don't know his cultivation at this point, but we do find out he is a 2-world smoldering god, and the other ones are just 1 world. Like Heir Apparent and them. And then we get the Emperor Ancient Spirit, who used to rule all over Very Ancient. Obviously, he's injured now. We get Crimson Moon Goddess. We got
Moon.
High Fire, or
High God, Moon Fire, and High God Starfire.
Yeah, we got those 2. Who else did we have? Anybody else that was really important? And the Zhu King and the Captain. And they go up and they reach the Red Moon. There's a lot of things that happen here.
Yeah, so basically they go in, there's a lot of descriptions here that it's impossible to kind of put in here.
You guys are gonna, we're gonna talk about it, but we can't go into depth.
Yeah, we can't really talk about this, but let's just say it's freaky.
Yeah.
Like the moon isn't like he said it was a rock, but when they descend on it, it's not actually a rock.
Yeah.
It's like he said it's like a sea of worms. I was like, damn. And basically, it goes back to this.
Well, he doesn't see that right away.
Yeah.
He sees that later. During the fight.
No.
Remember?
No. When he looks at the moon and said like the moon, like the surface of the moon wasn't like rocks, it was a sea of worms.
I thought he only saw that during the fight.
No. That was a different thing.
Oh, okay.
And that was Crimson Moon Goddess.
Okay.
Because this goes back to the whole perception altering thing of like instinctively keeping yourself safe.
Yeah. We do learn more about that too.
Yeah, sometimes you like what you see isn't always what's real. And like once they got closer to the moon, like they actually saw something completely different. So it was crazy. And so they spent this whole time looking for the Moon Palace,
which is where Crimson Moon Goddess is at.
Yep. So Zuking summons it, because he uses his Red Moon authority, and this freaks out Emperor Ancient Spirit, because he's like, for everyone else, for him it's different coming here than everyone else, because this means he's like, I'm assuming it's because like he's fighting for
authority. Yeah. Like if Crimson Moon Goddess dies, like he can take over, and he even called. Also, important thing here is that there's a bunch of like followers on the moon. They're like fake. They're not like real people. I think of them. I think they're more like
spirits of the moon.
Yeah, spirits of the moon, and they're all like saying a chant about Crimson Moon Goddess. And when Zuking comes, he takes over the chant and he tells them, "Call me Violet Lord."
Yeah, I was like, that's funny.
That was sick.
Violet Lord, that's so funny, dude. Yeah.
And so that actually made me think of I Shall See the Heavens, because of like the Violet Pillmasters. You know, there was like the colors.
Oh yeah.
And so then he takes over the chant, and that's when the Moon Palace shows up, and we find that and then they're trying to open the door, and I think that's when the captain starts sending his sons to explode on the door. Pop, pop, he explodes too, and then the Gloomite comes out. And we basically find the guy who betrayed the Imperial Sovereign before. The Imperial Sovereign killed this guy too. And I guess they just keep popping up.
So Crimson Moon Goddess revived him.
Yeah, Crimson Moon Goddess revived him.
And then Emperor Ancient Spirit ate him.
Yeah, he ate like 60% of them, and then Zuking and the captain sealed the other 40% in the minor fragment.
Yep. Which
used to be his world fragment. Which is funny.
And then once they go in, there's a sea.
There's a sea, and this is where we find 37 gods.
So so the sea is filled. Yeah, there's the gods that she's all eaten. It's all their auras.
She hasn't fully eaten all these gods. At least
I thought she did survive them.
So she has devoured them, but they're not the full manifestation of the god. If that makes sense. Oh. So like we don't know all the levels to gods. But we do know there's different levels stated here, because we get the fish god from the immortal, forbidden by the immortal.
Yeah.
It's in there, but the Zuking says there's some that are stronger. There's like 12 that are as strong as the fish god, and some that are weaker. And then there's like 3 gods who are like obviously high gods, and so, but they were projections. So that's why I meant like she's eaten all of them, but I think the high gods she's just ate like projections. Like,
yeah.
Like she hasn't eaten like the full god, like the finger, for example. You know, like it's a clone. So as she ate that, she didn't eat the real god. She ate a clone of god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but and then we also meet this man from like chapter.
Zhang Ziyan.
Yeah.
He became a Crimson God like doppelganger, so it was him.
Yeah.
But also the Crimson Moon Goddess, like they became one.
Yeah.
So she shared his memories, and basically he's on like the resurrection flower or lotus.
Yeah, the resurrection flower, which I don't know if the translator changed it to Patnita flower, like or if it's a different flower now, or were they just one and the same? He just switched the translation.
No. So he sent the footnote.
Yeah.
In I forget which novel.
I Shall See the Heavens.
Yeah. So he called it a resurrection flower back then.
Yeah, resurrection lily, I believe.
Yeah, and now he's calling it the Panita lily, and I think he said he wished he called it that instead of a resurrection.
And I Shall See the Heavens.
Yeah. So they fight Zhang Ziyan, which is
OP.
Yeah, because I mean it's basically the Crimson Moon Goddess.
Yeah, basically. Like it's like her avatar.
Yeah. They're pretty much getting clapped.
All of them, and this is where we find out Nine Sib is a 2-world.
Yeah, slaughtering god, and he's crazy strong.
Only reason I think they're alive is because of him.
Yeah, because he was just sword after sword. Which is awesome. I'm so happy that they met like a crazy swordsman.
Yeah,
they needed that.
Yeah, they have.
And then they're getting clapped, and then all 5 of them use like this they use like I call it the family technique, because they used all of their abilities at once to attack Zhang Zian with threads.
Yeah.
It was like a specific power. What was it? Or was it the captain? Because I feel like they used their powers to augment an attack that happened. Because I remember the captain said they were losing, and what he wanted to do was to throw off the balance between godliness and human emotions. So,
that was after.
Oh,
that was in the bigger fight.
So I'm mixing it up.
Yeah.
So something happened here.
So here they were trying to fight the Zhang Xian, and they used the threads on him, and then say
I just don't remember what the threads were.
They were like threads of like their authority power. Is how I read it.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and to counter it, it was something definitely more than just regular authority power. They did something special to it, and then Zhang Xian used godly power on everybody there. And he basically did that thing where he looks through people's memories.
Yeah, well, he did that before that, and then that's when they ignited like their cultivation to attack him to stop that because he was trying to erase their past.
Yeah,
and then then we found a crazy secret that the fifth sibling has a god stored inside of her.
Yes,
so
not currently.
In the future.
In the future, she will hold a god.
Yeah, and I was just like That whole thing like threw me off.
It did.
Like it was so confusing.
It's the past, present, future thing. It's
really confusing. I know. So I was just like,
I don't think it's like her current life, but her next life.
No. It's in this life,
but in the future.
Yeah. So they were saying like she can't really die because there's a god, because
she has a god's karma on her.
Yeah. So it's like it's hard to kill her because of the karma. Because it's like it would require someone capable of actually killing it, which obviously comes in when gods can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very confusing. Yeah, and it was also really crazy because I'm just like, damn. So Li Zhao is ruthless.
Yeah, he is ruthless.
Like he is ruthless to the extreme, and you'll see more of that in the next few chapters.
And so I just want to say during the memory wipe where he was trying to wipe them, a big thing was Zhu King.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
He when he was getting his memories wiped, he was able to counter it by using the Violet Crystal. It wasn't really a counter. No. It was like an instinctive like Violet Crystal, just like stored.
Two memories that I think it stored it because like these shouldn't be revealed memories.
I think they were of too high of a personhood for him to use.
I think for Zhang Zian to pull out.
Yeah, and so one was the broken god opening his eyes to like create the forbidden region or forbidden ground.
When he looked at
that where
Zhu King was
chapter 1, and then the second one was when his big brother had that memory of like giving him a candy or whatever, like some food, and like telling him to not cry or something like that.
And then he killed him.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
So what happened here?
Yeah.
So beyond the Timescape.
Yeah. So that I was a little confused by that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna reread these 10 chapters again.
Well,
chapter 700 to 710. This is like this is gonna be like half of the podcast.
Yeah, because
it was so like info dumpy.
Well, because the crazy thing is that what does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it means that like a different timeline, like clearly something else happened, bro. So the Crown Prince of Violet, once we get to that man, secrets are about to be revealed.
For real. And we also find out actually a little backtrack when they're awakening the Imperial Sovereign. This was pretty fucking big. When they're awakening the Imperial Sovereign, not when they're awakening the Imperial Sovereign. When they're using, I messed it up. I'm so sorry. I should have mentioned this already. So Zhu King takes those 2 memory fragments and it's in the Violet Crystal, and this is when Zhu King uses the Violet Crystal's memory and pulls one out. I think.
Oh yeah, he pulled it out.
But before, I think the captain tried to do something. Oh, he put his old body on the line. I think he combined with his old body, and he like used his old body to try to like fight Zhang Zian, and it failed. Something like that. And then he said he was going for broke, so Zhu King was like, I have to go for broke. So the memory of the god opening his eye, he used that memory and made it look at the red moon, which is a god domain. And remember, if you go back like hundreds of chapters, we finally find out it's forbidden when the broken face of the god looks at something, it becomes a forbidden region or a forbidden ground. If he looks at it again, it becomes a forbidden region. If he looks at it again, it becomes a god domain. And so King was like, what happens after that? And we didn't ever get an answer. Well, we got an answer today. And so if you look at it a fourth time, it becomes a god's world. And King basically made the broken god look at the red moon, and it was almost turning into a god's world. And everybody was like, stop this man!
Yeah.
Stop!
Moonfire was crazy.
Yeah.
It was going crazy. And I was like, bitch, fuck you.
She hadn't shown up this
Yeah,
whole
I
time
was
talking
like,
about, don't do this. How about you show up?
Yeah, for real. I was like, yo, King, you better be like, if she wants to stop, she better do something.
Yeah, because the captain called out to her like 3 times during this fight, like, I need you. And she didn't show up, so don't be mad that King's doing something to save his life.
Yeah.
But King didn't have enough power, basically
enough life force to sustain the image.
And so it was only a crack open in the eye, so it didn't actually become a god domain. And
but it scared everyone.
Yeah.
Even Zhang Ziyan.
And then he uses a second memory with the captain giving him more life force to use it, which is the memory that we just talked about with his older brother.
Yeah.
And that finally kills Zhang Ziyan. And this is where we get
it almost killed him.
No, that killed him. The first one
almost killed him, and then the second one does kill him.
Yeah.
You're right.
And this is where we find out something important, that we do like a random cutscene to the Imperial Sovereign, or another Imperial Sovereign, to the Human Emperor, and he's like playing chess with the older brother. And it was crazy.
He's the state preceptor now.
Yeah, and I was like...
So they obviously know each other's... He obviously knows their identity.
But like, he's like the master of Torchlight.
Sometimes. There's no eternal enemies, bro. Eternal benefit.
That was just crazy.
I
They
know.
just threw it in there.
So that he was just like, here's a foreshadow for the next arc.
Yeah, and he was like, somebody just used one of my memory fragments, and everything's going crazy on the Red Moon.
Yeah. And,
we also find out here that the night... Because I was honestly thinking through this arc, like while I was reading these last few chapters, I was like, where are the nightshades? And it was funny. I really like that they like still mentioned it here, because I totally forgot that the nightshades are absolutely getting wrecked right now by the domain treasure, and that's why they're not doing anything to help out, because they're getting wrecked, and they're actually giving a lot of the sacrifices to try to get Crimson Moon Goddess to show up, and she's not showing up.
Yeah.
So that was like a little cutscene that was pretty important.
And then after that, Lizawa finally wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
No, Crimson Moon Goddess comes.
Yeah.
And when she comes, she stimulates him into waking up. That's what happens. So they wake up, they meet each other. He's like, so time's finally here.
Yeah.
This is the moment he's been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was just, and what happened after this just wasn't what I expected.
Well, first, let's just say the fight was epic.
Yep.
And I think, so first we'll say who was in the fight. It was Lu Zikao. I don't know how to say that.
Lee Zikao.
I'm going to say Imperial Sovereign after this, because I'm obviously failing. Imperial Sovereign, High Goddess, High God Moonfire, High God Starfire, and Ancient, or at least Emperor Ancient Spirit, were all fighting Crimson Moon Goddess in her full form. And during this, we get a big explanation of how it works for perspective, like you were saying earlier. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so for one's perception, like basically King, like when Crimson Moon Goddess appeared, she appeared as like this, basically like an octopus.
Yeah, like
an extremely ugly octopus.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't look at her obviously directly, so then their perception were changed into like this beautiful woman with no eyes.
Yeah.
That she was covering with. And but Lizawa, obviously, he stayed the same no matter what. So I guess like gods, like the difference between a god and a cultivator in their essence is really huge.
Yes.
What happened after that? Oh, and then they started talking, and Crimson Moon Goddess basically said he betrayed Brilliant Heaven for Deep Earth.
Yep.
And she was like, well, I choose Brilliant Heaven, and I'm going to fight for them. Eliza was like, the mission stays the same.
So we find out a couple things here. One is that the difference between deep heaven or deep earth and brilliant heaven is that brilliant heaven.
Oh my god, I forgot.
I don't know how you forgot that, bro. Brilliant heaven is where the gods are from and they originate from, and then deep earth is where like cultivators are from and they become immortals, and their peak supposedly is Imperial Sovereign, even though I doubt that because there's Ancient Emperor. So I think
he said, yeah, so basically he described it as, so back in the day, well, I think they mean the peak now, because they're saying back in the day, the cultivators rose up, and they thought that the world belonged to them, but it didn't. It belonged to the gods. So they slaughtered the gods, they sealed them in brilliant heaven, and they using the heavenly Tao's.
Yes.
So that's why the big thing, the heavenly Tao's, are things created by cultivators, which is a crazy.
That is very crazy.
Crazy thing. So it's like, what is the heavenly Tao? Is there like even a heavenly Tao above like the memorial heavenly Tao? Who knows? But let's just say it's. But right now, that's what used to seal brilliant heaven, seal away all the gods. But then a bigger secret happened. Brilliant heaven is just one of many god worlds that exist.
Yeah.
The universe itself does not belong to cultivators; it belongs to gods.
And that's crazy because they were like, "We're finally gonna rise above. We're gonna take over the world." When they thought they did it, and then there's like, it's one of thousands.
Yeah.
It's one of hundreds of thousands.
God worlds.
It could be one of millions.
Yeah.
We don't know how many god worlds there are out there.
We don't know. Yeah. So brilliant heaven, deep earth. Obviously, I think. We'll probably understand it a little bit more as we read A World Worth Protecting.
That's true.
Because obviously in the comments they mentioned that a lot about Deep Earth. So we'll see where that goes.
One thing though that is important is that we find out that they're both from Brilliant Heaven. Well, we already knew that, but I think it's important that like, I guess they just talk about how if you're from Brilliant Heaven, you just are like a god descendant. I don't know if everybody there is just a god. That's what they kind of made it seem like.
Oh yeah, because they took away their god. They took away like their ability to become
godly descendants,
or to be born as gods.
Yeah, so I think before Brilliant Heaven, people were just born as gods.
Yeah.
And then when the immortals took over, like that was a big thing that their descendants wouldn't be gods anymore.
Yeah.
And like Brilliant or Crimson Moon God was pissed about that. She was like, I'm not letting that slide.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone was because. Zala originally came to Deep Earth to pursue godhood.
Yeah.
Because like he keeps talking about a mission, and no one really knows what this mission.
If he was already a god, why did he come to Deep Earth to become a god?
Well, like he was born from a god, but he didn't become a god, or he didn't come there as a god, but like he became a god in Deep Earth, which is even more confusing.
So I guess maybe they're born with the potential to become gods automatically.
Or I think it's more like their affinity leans toward it, right?
Okay.
Because they start off as cultivators and then they can choose the path of godhood.
Yeah.
So I think like they're post heaven gods, right?
Yeah.
They can't unlike the pre heaven gods that like were born like that. They're post heaven, which is like. I feel like they look at it as like a shame because like they're god descendants, but like now they're post heaven gods. It's like, damn.
So I think before this immortal fight, you were just born as a god, and I think the Imperial Sovereign and Crimson Moon Goddess were born after the immortals took over Brilliant Heaven, which is why they weren't born as gods and they had to become gods.
Yeah, and that's why they came to Deep Earth.
Yeah. So is Deep Earth just revered ancient? I don't think that's what it is, right? Or no. I think actually revered ancient is Brilliant Heaven and Deep Earth like combined.
So the way I looked at it was revered ancient is Deep Earth.
Yeah.
And they sealed away Brilliant Heaven.
Underneath it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the way. Like,
I think that's what it is.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So, and then the gods came, and now they're attacking Deep Earth again.
Yes. Yes.
As for where they came from or how because she brought him here.
Right.
That was the big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she has so much karma with him. She led the current broken face god to Deep Earth, So obviously this broken face god must be from some other god world, and she wants to free her people. So she wants to destroy what's left of the cultivators.
And so the reason why the Heavenly Dowels are so weak right now is because all 99 or now 100 ancient Heavenly Dowels are at all times suppressing the face of the broken god.
Well, they're being suppressed. They're trying to fight back.
They're like, I guess not suppressed is the right word. Well, they are being suppressed, but it's more like they're
basically like, let's say 99% of their power is used to fight the
broken god.
And
and if it wasn't for them, like the world would be destroyed.
Yeah.
They're the reason that mutagen isn't 100% and is like 70% of the world.
Yeah. So they revealed a lot of stuff. It was really cool. I'm sure the stuff reveals about the paragons and stuff that just obviously is connecting to the rest of the Urgent verse.
And we got the peak fight that we talked about, all the players that were in it, and this is where you were talking about with the captain. He used his powers as the old Grand Dancer, and the power of all the Imperial Sovereign's children, besides Fourth Son, obviously, and Zhu King basically just had to wreck him. But the captain used his power as a Grand Dancer to create a dream for Crimson Moon Goddess so that it could hopefully mess up her nature, because she's a post-7 god, so she has to have her human, animal, and god nature in a balance. And basically they say dreams are poisonous to post-7 gods because they can lean them toward one direction and destroy their balance. And so the captain's making a crazy dream for her to mess it up.
Yeah. Also, the way they described the fight, they described it as a painting. They described it as 4 different colors. There was Crimson Moon Goddess, Moonfire,
Silver,
Starfire, I think it was blue.
Something like that.
And I forget what Lizal was.
Yeah,
but basically, also, since with Zhu King's poison gaze, like, Moonfire is ugly.
Yeah. Well, everybody... So this is where the perception thing is. I wanted to get a little bit more into it. So before, we thought like when you hit a higher level, your perception changes, which it does. But the reason it does is because you can only see what won't harm you. So the higher level you are, the more you can see. And like that's why like we were talking about last episode, we were like, how can they see all that and be sane? And it's kind of like you need to hit a certain level. And once you reach a higher level, like a veil comes off of your eyes.
Yeah.
And you can only see what will not harm you. So in this fight here, where there's like 5 gods, Zhu King can only see colors.
Yeah.
Because if he sees anything else, he'll literally die.
Because he slowly sees them like transform a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone else transformed, not Lizawa.
Yeah.
And even then, he's still like bleeding.
Yeah.
And stuff. So.
But that's why he doesn't have a color. He's just regular person.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he did have a color.
I think he did.
I think he was blue or something.
No, I thought he was white or something.
Maybe.
But regardless, we found out how cultivators fight. They use the Heavily Dow, and that's why he lost back then because
Heavily Dow were weak.
Yeah,
suppressing the broken.
It's the same way now because he only used it for one good attack.
Yeah.
And then the attack.
Oh, this is where we get the 100th ancient Heavily Dow, which is the child, the Zhu King, and the captain shows up, and everybody was like, "Child."
Yeah. So everyone is shocked about that.
Yeah.
I imagine that have major implications later that we are not yet.
It already had implications there because it seemed like they were going to lose that fight.
Yeah. We saw that basically Heavily Dows, the taboo weapons. So each Imperial technique is clearly corresponds to Heavily Dow. There is even a speculation that some of the Heavily Dows could be gods that died back then that were sealed up, which is crazy.
I remember there's like ancient Heavily Dows and then Heavily Dows. So the ancient Heavily Dows is 100. They thought there was 99, but with Zhu King and the captain there's 100. And then there's regular Heavily Dows, which are like 100k.
And those are being destroyed left and right.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that he tries to crazy hit on Crimson Moon Goddess. She did, substitution technique.
Yeah.
Switches out the hell god.
That she was trying to eat the other high god.
And he dies.
The Lord of the 9 Serenities.
Blake or something.
Something like that. Basically the 9 hells.
And he dies. And then Crimson Moon Goddess basically kind of has the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
She starts trying to absorb Lizawa because she was calling him a traitor. She said, suck my nuts.
Basically.
Because I know you. She was like, I know you became a god back then, and you saw the future, which is why I prepared all these things. So, because I'm also a god, so in the end, I still won. And then
reversal.
She got hit with the reversal.
It was crazy.
The craziest reversal of all time. Captain. Was it the captain? Oh yes. So the captain has said, sacrifice. Basically. We learned that one of the ways to get the broken face God's eyes to open is through a sacrifice.
Yes.
So what the captain does is he takes. Was it the captain? It was the captain, right? No. Who was it?
It was the captain.
Yeah. So the captain takes all the.
It's him and Zuking technically.
Yeah, they take the moon.
And so they take what they use.
The cathedral guys.
They use the Moonrise. They use the Moonrise congregation, I think, to round. Basically, in the Moonrise congregation battle on Earth before they came up to the Red Moon, all the Moonrise congregation people were there, but they didn't wipe out all the cathedral people.
Yeah, they captured them.
They captured them,
and they used them as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then, how did they summon these all? Because that wasn't what the sacrifice was for.
They sacrificed it to open the god. To open the gates.
No. Lizawa did that.
Yeah.
But how did he appear there?
He appeared there with
Oh, that's right.
Faith power.
Yes, so they used the power of faith for Lizawa to come through from a different timeline using the captain as the coordinates.
Yeah.
And then he says his craziest line. Like where he's like, I'm the first person to become a god. For Brilliant Heaven.
Yeah. In Deep Earth.
In Deep Earth. And then he tells the Father God to accept my sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then his eyes open.
Yeah. And looks onto the Red Moon again to become a god world.
Yep. But
boom! It was actually crazy.
Yeah, it was. And then Crimson Moon Goddess.
She instantly died.
Yeah.
It was basically like the power of a god world. She wasn't able to sustain it.
Yeah.
They kind of said it as if you gave someone if you're a core formation person and they gave you a spiritual pill, if your body can't take it, it's a poison.
Yeah. So the captain had made a deal with Lizawa to come through, and obviously Lizawa in the future in the past knew about this because he saw the future. Because he's a fucking schemer.
Super schemer.
And this isn't even the end of it. Because basically what he does is he tries to absorb the Crimson Moon Goddess. And as he's in the process of doing so, Emperor Dark Ancient, High God Moonfire, and Starfire.
Not Emperor Dark Ancient, Emperor Ancient Spirit.
Ancient Spirit. They all take a
piece.
Yeah, a piece, 10% each.
So I think Ancient Emperor Spirit or Emperor Ancient Spirit took 10, and then the other two gods, High Gods, took a little over 15. Okay. So they took 40% of the.
I was like, don't get greedy.
Yeah. And so he took the rest, and then the Red Moon disappears, and so we did find out. I think there used to be 35 moons. Now there's 12. And the Red Moon was the 7th, the grade 7 moon, and now there's 11 because the moon popped back into the world wherever the other gods.
Well, it teleported out of Reverend Nature.
Yeah. So now it's wherever the other god worlds are out, it probably went
yeah.
there.
So they described it whatever place there is. There's vortexes, some bigger than others, and his spawn, and then what spawned there was an eye, and Crimson Moon Goddess appeared from that eye. But then Lizawa took over the Crimson Moon Goddess, and we find out that this was his big plan all along. The reason he didn't bow down to the human emperor back then because of some dumb. He didn't go with Deep Earth. His whole goal was to avoid the karma that comes with ascending to be a god.
Yeah.
And so he skipped it by using the Crimson Moon Goddess as a shield.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't have to endure the karma anymore. So he used her. And she said the craziest thing. The fourth son was bait. He baited his fourth son he used him to get her to do all the things that happened just for this moment so he could...
So is he a sober man with drunk people?
Yeah.
I think he is.
Yeah.
He might be. Because you know what's crazy? All of the other children are over here saying they don't like gods, they don't like gods. But their dad is trying to become a god the whole time.
Yeah, he was trying to become a god. He just didn't want to pay the consequences for it. That was his whole scheme.
He literally doesn't care about any of his children.
No, because he said...
They're all worthless.
He just wanted to become a god.
That's crazy.
So, I think the son in the end was right.
Yeah.
He was just a pawn.
Yeah.
And the red eye it wasn't planted by the Crimson Moon Goddess, it was planted by Lizawa.
That was his spiritual, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, it was his spiritual.
Back then, he allowed that to happen, and then he took the red moon, he spawned from the left eye, turned the red moon into his right eye, and now he is obviously past a high god. So what that means is that whatever level he's at now, to get there must be like a tribulation that they have to endure.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I'm all set with that.
Yeah.
So it must be terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, like, was Crimson Moon Goddess ever gonna what was her tribulation? What did she have to do? Who knows? Maybe they'll explain it more later. But
I think there's also very big implications for our boy Zhu King, because his whole godly power is about the red moon. That's not just gonna like go away.
Yeah, now.
So now he has to fight an imperial sovereign / super god.
Yeah,
whatever goes above high god.
Yeah, because Lizawa has her authority now.
Yeah, so now and Zhu King didn't say it can't be Crimson Moon Goddess. He said the red moon can't have two masters.
Yep.
So that means there's gonna be a face-off between Imperial Sovereign and Zhu King in the future. That's gonna be crazy because this whole thing, it was hoping that Zhu King would take it over after, not like take it over completely, but he'd start his
journey for like
taking
complete control.
Yeah.
And now it's like now he has an even horrible enemy, even worse enemy. Because some people in the comments are like, is he a good guy or good guy or bad guy? I'm like, he's a bad guy.
He's 100% a bad guy. Like, come on, guys.
He's a god, bro. He literally schemed. He was a god schemer, bro. Like, he schemed like a god schemes. And he literally let Crimson Moon Goddess farm for him while he was sleeping, bro.
Well,
he woke up and he was like, oh, thanks. And that's how it was.
Well, I will say he does say something at the end there that...
It's crazy.
In Revered Ancient... they think you either have to be a cultivator or a god, and so he says as part of the mission, like the mission was like for one to win over the other, but they're both wrong because you can be both. Like you can be a cultivator and a god at once and follow both paths. Now I will say I don't think all gods are evil, but he definitely is. And like Zhu King, it does show that Zhu King can walk the path.
Yeah.
And like it's a safe path.
Yeah. So he wanted the power of a cult. So because now. He has the power of an imperial sovereign, and he combined it with divinity.
Yeah.
So now he's probably crazy strong.
He is.
He's probably like number one, like amongst or not number one, but he's probably like a top 5 god right now.
Yeah, he's probably gonna start his journey of domination between the gods and he might be some final boss type shit.
Yeah, he's gonna start slaughtering.
Yeah.
And then he said, this was even more of a messed with my mind.
Yeah.
The nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
He called so they are siblings.
Yeah.
He called Crimson Moon Goddess called him Big Brother.
Yeah.
And she called him fourth sister. Or
Yeah.
he called her fourth sister.
Yeah.
And they said the moon rhyme, and everyone originally thought that was
of the
Imperial Song's fourth son.
Yeah.
But that was actually the Crimson Moon Goddess. She won't come back. So it's just like, so who are the other gods?
Yeah.
In part of the song.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, alright, so he cooks
He was cooking, bro.
He cooked. That was a 5-star Michelin restaurant full course meal, bro.
I think they only do 3 Michelin stars, so you can see what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
But honestly, he went crazy. I'm so happy we did Beyond the Timescape month, and we went through this whole arc.
Bro,
it was so crazy.
It was goated.
The month of June has just been. And on top of that, World War Protecting, bro, I'm living good. I'm living good, bro.
So I'm glad I started reading it and told you to start reading it.
I'm glad you did too. Because at the beginning,
it's a little slow at the beginning.
It has a lot of good parts, but
it's more funny.
Yeah, it's a lot more funny stuff. But yeah, no, let's get back to Beyond the Timescape. Beyond the Timescape, always cooking. It did great work. I loved it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm rereading the last 11 chapters because there's a couple part 2s in there, I think. 700 to 710. I might reread it like 2 times. Because I know there's some stuff that you talked about that I just missed. Like, I didn't even see it. So I need to watch. I need to read it again.
It was literally plot twist after plot twist.
Yeah.
And like, my reaction, like, I saw the comments, we were all sharing the same reaction. We were all just like, what is going on, bro? Like,
What?
Like, what is even, like... What is the story? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Like, how do we wrap this up? Because
nobody knows.
Because like now Lizawa, he's a big threat in the future.
We have the state preceptor. What's his name?
Yeah.
He's like in the Imperial
region. So now we're gonna have to fight him. Is the human
and
emperor
friends with the human emperor?
And like so now we're gonna have to fight the human emperor as well because or maybe not fight it, but like we're gonna have to politic with him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, I don't know how he tops this arc, to be honest.
But he always does.
We say that every time, so I'm gonna say it again because I feel like he is gonna top it. But I don't know how he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be on some crazy like. I don't know, like maybe the human emperor is crazy or something.
I don't know. Also, a little tidbit that we did find out at the end here. I think it was like the last half chapter or something. We find out that the humans are still attacking Nightshade territory, and it pretty much looks like we're about to take over the Nightshade regions, and we're just gonna take them as theirs because we find out we have 33 Heavenly Kings for the humans. And every single one of them is a smoldering god.
Yep.
So we have at least 34 smoldering gods. Well, there's 33 of them, and then I doubt that the Imperial children are part of those Heavenly Kings.
No, they're not.
And then the
human emperor is probably
and I think he's probably above smoldering god.
He's probably Imperial Sovereign.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know that because then they probably call him Imperial Sovereign.
Well,
maybe he's like 4 worlds smoldering god, whatever the peak is.
Nah, I think he has to be above. I think cause they call him Imperial Sovereign probably because he had his own kingdom.
So you don't think Imperial Sovereign is a level?
Alright, we're back.
Cameron
died, but when you look at the timestamp, it'll be because it was long as it was.
Yeah, it really was.
We're arguing about whether the human emperor, if he's an Imperial Sovereign, and if it's like level. I'm pretty sure it's a level.
You think it's just like Imperial Sovereign level?
Yeah, like that's just the name of the level.
Yeah.
And the human emperor is just human emperor.
Well, for sure, human emperor. But I just don't know about the human emperor. I think he did break through to like the Imperial Sovereign level. But no, I don't, cause they call him Imperial Sovereign. Like that's not his name.
Yeah, but I think they call him that because like he had his own kingdom.
You're saying because he wasn't in control of the human empire.
Yeah.
So he's like he's kind of like his own human territory.
Yeah, like
so he's a human.
Yeah, because he Imperial Sovereign, and then human emperor is just human emperor. With the Imperial Sovereign cultivation, he just took on Imperial Sovereign title because what's the other title?
Yeah. I can see that because probably back in the Imperial Sovereign, what's his name again?
Lizihua.
Yeah, in his day and age, humans were probably way more around.
They were the peak.
Yeah, they were the peak, and so it probably was understandable to have a lot of sovereigns everywhere instead of one just human emperor that controls everything because there was so much more to control back then.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that wraps up a month of Beyond Timescape. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it, but we definitely did.
Yep, it was a long arc, but it was the best arc so far.
And we say that every single time, which is why this is the golden novel.
Yep.
And next week, like we said, we're doing Split in the Heavens, and I gotta say, you guys will finally see why I've been addicted to this novel.
Yeah, he's been super addicted. It's crazy.
I literally just kicked it because of
World War Protecting.
And it was the first couple days I was reading a World War Protecting, I would still check at 12 o'clock. I'd go, but I wouldn't read it. I'd just be like, I look at the titles and I'm like, oh wait. But now, in like the last 4 or 5 days, I haven't looked that up.
Yeah.
So hopefully it stays like that. But it also helps that a World War Protecting is an Olusha world, so I never see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. This has been episode 69 of Let All Feeds. It's been Adam Mark.
Who's Gamer?
Peace.